EuRA 2017, devoted this year to the power of challenge. So where better could we hold this conference than in Warsaw? Warsaw, the capital of Poland, a brave, plucky little nation, surrounded by bully boys on its borders, constantly besieged, invaded, flattened after the Second World War. And yet, as we've seen from that film, has built itself up again with courage, with resilience, with innovation, with can-do, with faith. And that, quite frankly, is what we in this industry, in EuRA, are all about, dealing with challenges. And since you and I met last year, think of the changes, the tumultuous changes we've seen. My own country, for example, the United Kingdom, dealing with Brexit, exiting from the EU after 40 years. The United States, its own challenges. I was speaking to Steve Krein last night only. Trade wars probably breaking out between Canada and the US of A. Who knows? And if we even forget about these challenges that have happened over the last year, we think of the permanent, the perennial challenges we have to deal with. The challenge, for example, left of field from artificial intelligence. Will people even be moving in the future? Will artificial intelligence take out all the white-collar workers? Longevity, people living longer. War, famine, pestilence, austerity. These are the challenges we face, and these are the challenges that you in the industry really have to grapple with. So when we have challenges, when we have threats, when we have issues of this nature, of this stratospheric nature, what do? Well, you can look at a challenge one of two ways. Once upon a time, I used to work for a woman by the name of Margaret Thatcher, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, our first female Prime Minister, and she had a favorite saying. Well, she had two favorite sayings. The first one was, travel first class or your kids will. And the second one was, there's no such thing as problems, only opportunities. Until one day her special advisor from the Foreign Office rocked in and said, Prime Minister, I think we have an insurmountable opportunity. Problems, opportunities, it's the way you look at it. And here at EuRA, we look at everything in the EuRA way. So the power of challenge, how are we going to look at the series of challenges with which we are confronted in the industry today? The EuRA way. EuRA. I would ask you over the next couple of days, in your breakout sessions, in plenary, in your conversations with fellow professionals, to have a look at things the EuRA way. E. Envision what all the challenges we're seeing, all the changes we're seeing, and those we haven't even dreamt of yet, envision what this could mean for you individually, for you professionally as a business, and for you as a group for the entire industry. Envision it. Think about it. Think what's happening before it actually happens to you. EU. Having had a good look at what might be happening in the future, and that's why we bring you all here together, not only to do deals and mix and match and marry off and merge and acquire, to think what's happening in the business, in the industry, understand the ramifications, and on the basis of that, redesign your thinking, possibly your business. U for understand and redesign. EuR is for relationships. That is what this family is all about, relationships, networks. That is the power of this family. That is the power of EuRA. Once you've figured out what might be happening in the industry, when you've figured out what it might mean for you personally, for your business, for this industry, you redesign it with the benefit of that tribal knowledge that's going on in the heads of the people here, and that's the only way you can meet the power of the challenge. EuRA. A is for allocate. Once you've figured out what this means, you have to allocate time, energy, money even, to doing something about it. And I promise you over the next few days, those of you who invest in coming here, in giving of your time, yes, money, to be here, opportunity cost of not being at the desk back at home, you will realize what is happening in this industry, and you will go back better prepared to meet the challenge. Later on this afternoon, you will be hearing from a keynote speaker who talks about brands. And he talks about the power of the story in creating the brand. Now, what is a brand? A brand is that amalgam of effables, of ineffables, of tangibles, of intangibles, which together create recognition and value. Nowadays, when we look at the value of any organization, we look at the brand value. What does that brand represent to the consumer? Just the other day when United Airlines had that little incident, basically throwing a nice doctor off a plane and thumping him in the process so that he lost 2 teeth, and somebody happened to film the entire process. Not entirely brilliant for your customer relations and your customer service kind of profile. $2 billion immediately wiped off the price of their shares. That's what your brand is. Now, our brand, the EuRA brand, has its own story. It has an extraordinary story. Now, those of you who've been here, for generations upon generations, and I'm not particularly looking at Patrick Oman over there, but those of you who've been here know our stories. You know our stories of, flooding in Budapest and tiny little rooms in Rome and nearly drowning in Prague when we had that cruise ship that nearly sank. But who's new? Who's new to this conference? Stand up, all the newcomers. Please stand up. We're going to give you a round of applause. Well, you've made a very wise decision, and you have invested very, very, very sensibly, because you will learn in 3 days what other people take 30 years to learn here. Just talk to people, plug in, and understand what's happening. So we have another tradition. That's part of our story, part of our EuRA story, that every year, just to get you going, just to get you in the right frame of mind, and many of you have traveled from all over the world, so I want to make sure you've not got deep vein thrombosis. I want you all now to join with me in the greatest challenge that we have ever had in EuRA. We have had in the past, we have had songs that I have spoofed quite unashamedly, because as we all know, creativity is great, but plagiarism is quicker. We have had songs from ABBA. We have had songs from Rodgers and Hammerstein. Last year we had a song from the Beatles. But this year, are you ready for the challenge? Are you really ready for the challenge? This year we are going to have a song from Gloria Gaynor. We Will Survive. Now, this is a tricky song, but the point is, and this is for our newcomers, look at all these people around here. Whatever it is that the organizers do to them and for them, they do survive, right? So I'm going to give you 1 minute to look through the lyrics, the spoofed lyrics of We Will Survive, and then with huge amounts of energy to get the show going, I'm going to ask you to stand and to do your bloody best to follow this song, because it's quite difficult. Now, do you think you're ready, EuRA? Do you know what? We talk an awful lot about culture in this organization, but rarely do we talk about gender splits. Does anybody know in karaoke what is the song that men most like? My Way. And women like I Will Survive. So stand, EuRA, stand. We're now going to do our best. This is the first challenge, the power of challenge that we're going to have in this conference. Now, I'm going to ask in a moment, I'm going to ask Minnie to come in with the music. There's a little bit of a lead-in, and I'll know those women who've Bridget Jones sat on their own crying. They'll know the lyric. They'll know when to come in. And we'll see how it goes. I can do no more. Right, Minnie, take it away. Yes, once we were confused, we're mystified, just working hard all by ourselves, no EuRA by our side. But then Sir Lyndon came along, saying, friends, we've got it wrong. We must be strong. We must start singing the same song. So that was that. We made a pact. We all said yes to the QS, because that's the best and that's the fact.
We should have done this years ago, so now let's help each other grow.
If there's
a deal that's got our name on, it's right here, the EuRA show. Come on now, come. Join in the fun. Right here at home now, because EuRA's home to everyone. Weren't we the one who almost drowned in Budapest? Did we even grumble? Did we even manage to get stressed? Oh, no, not us. No, we survived. Yes, in Prague, our cruise ship almost sank, but Bliss, we stayed alive. We had our arms up to our knees, slept in rooms the size of peas, but we survived. We will survive. Hey, hey.
Very good. You're doing well. Make this next one a little bit better. It's difficult.
It took all the strength we had to keep DSPs from giving vent to their concerns and thumping RMCs. And we spent oh so many days debating who was right or wrong. We stopped all that. We now say time to get along, so let's see how far we'll go. And let's be proud to face together all that life can throw. There's just no challenge.
Just no blood to share away. Because we've got John to teach us standards.
We've got Tad to make us pay. Come on now, go. Join in the fun. Feel right at home now. Because EuRA's home to everyone. Weren't we the ones who almost drowned in Budapest? Did we even grumble? Did we even manage to get stressed? Oh no, not us. No, we survived. Yes, in Prague our cruise ship almost sank, but still we stayed alive. We've had ash up to our knees, slept in rooms the size of peas, but we survived. We will survive.
It goes on 3 times. Well done, EuRA. That's a tough one. That gets you going. We will survive. The power of challenge. Now then, to give you a roundup of the year, it is my enormous pleasure to introduce to you, and a wild round of applause for your President, Anita Meijer, and our CEO, Tad Linden.
Think. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Welcome
Right.
to Warsaw.
If you haven't paid and you owe us money, see me afterwards. Okay, so this year, in the last year, we've achieved much. Excuse me.
Let me do that.
Yeah.
Let me help you.
Thank you.
I'm here to help.
Thank you. Jolly kind of you. Yes, business as usual. Of course, the work of the board is something that continues over the years, and please remember that everything they do is voluntary. They don't get paid. So I would like personally to thank them all very much for what they do for EuRA and for us, myself and Dom.
Thank you, board. There's also the annual European Global Quality Seal Review, for the ones that are not very familiar with EGQS, and the relocation management company meetings that we have once a year each to get up to date with each other?
Twice a year.
Twice a year.
Yeah,
Now twice a
even
year.
twice a
Right.
year, yes.
Okay.
There's also the EuRA Index, which we've been pursuing now for a number of years. We're really grateful to Helmut Berg, who is not here for the first time ever, but I'm told he will probably come next year, for his dedication to this project. Month in, month out, he goes through the results, he writes a report, and Maria sends out the index results. Please, if you don't participate in this, please participate in it. Please answer the questions. It only takes about 3 minutes, and it really does give us useful data. If you've got any questions in relation to this, you can always ask Maria Manley in the office, and she will give you further details.
All right, and then there's the EuRA, our newsletter. There's the constant EuRA bulletins, whom I'm sure you all read through and through.
However, this year we've had a number of innovations.
Indeed. We have had the privilege to work together with the CERC to develop the CERC, the Canadian Employee Relocation Council, again, one of these abbreviations. Steve Grine is here. Steve Grine. He's a great supporter of EuRA, and he has co-sponsored this big, huge research that we've done, and that is now booked into the Future of Mobility report. And we're going to continue this work for the next couple of years, I think.
Yes.
Right?
We're also working towards making EuRA a centre for the distribution of more industry knowledge and a lot more research. Further innovations, we've made major inroads into social media. If you want to hear or learn a little bit more about what we're doing, you can go and talk to Danny, who is by the television set in the foyer, and she can give you further details. By using social media, you can actually interact with EuRA. I do know a number of you go and look at the EuRA Facebook page because it's directly linked to my own Facebook page. So whenever I go on my iPad, I have a quick look to see what's going on with EuRA. Don't forget to use the hashtags for this event, and you can also use Flickr to go back and look at previous events. The other thing that we did this year, which is a total, an amazing innovation, and to be quite honest, after we'd done it, I rather thought to myself, hell, we should have done this years ago. We introduced the RMC DSP Forum. We will be talking about this in tomorrow's session, but I'd like to thank both the RMCs and the DSPs who participated in this. We met for the first time in January, and it resulted in the production of a survey which was sent out to members, which will be available, the results of which will be available after tomorrow's session. And I have to say, the meeting was one of the most productive I've been to in a long time, and it was quite revealing some of the things that the RMCs didn't understand and the DSPs didn't understand. So do come to tomorrow's session at 2:30 here in the main ballroom.
There's more innovations that we managed to achieve this year. We had our first ever mobility conference in Africa. It was a fabulous success. Are there people here who were in Africa?
Yeah.
Raise your hands. So I think they will agree that it felt like being there for the first time and reaching out to the non-European members and taking the first step into an EMEA EuRA. So that was fabulous.
And it was extraordinary. It was like going back 20 years to the first ever EuRA meeting and the sorts of discussions that were had back in Brussels in 1998 were happening in Cape Town again, which was amazing. Another innovation was the dinner that we held in Penang. I'd like to thank Patricia Jade Uwe, who's somewhere. Where are you? Stand up. Thank you very much. She found us the most fabulous location, the Kabaya dining room, which wasn't just in the top 10 restaurants in Penang. It was actually the #1 restaurant in Penang. We had a fabulous time, and in fact we had something like 35 to 40 members actually participating, which is amazing considering it was just an invitation to dinner in Penang. There was nothing, as it were, to it other than that.
That was great.
Yes, and to the future.
The future, where do we go from here? I think the next one on our list is the reception that we offer to all the EuRA members and all the others that want to come at the WERC in Chicago in the, I don't know the exact dates, in the fall, October.
I can't remember.
End of September, beginning of October.
No, it's
We'll
in
send
end of
invites,
September.
read the bulletins.
It's about 26th or the 27th of September, something like that. And we're actually going to hold it in the Renaissance in Chicago for the 3rd time. Mm-hmm. We also have our 2nd EMEA conference. This time we're going to Dubai. We're going to be at the Jumeirah Creekside Hotel, and we'll be having a party night on the viewing deck overlooking the fountains at the Burj Khalifa, so that will be quite splendid. So I'd like to encourage as many of you as possible to come and join us. That is the 22nd, 23rd and 24th of November. We apologize to our American friends, but unfortunately that was the only date available. And then after that...
It's Thanksgiving again, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes.
we did that twice in a row.
That's why I'm apologizing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then there's the 20th anniversary conference next year in you know where, and if you want to have a go at guessing where it's going to be, €5 at the reception desk, at the EuRA desk.
Yes. Fill in the card.
Fill in the card, and you may win a free conference attendance and 3 nights in the fabulous hotel next year.
I beg your pardon? Oh, the €5 is absolutely for the charity.
Yes.
And of course, we will be launching a new web portal very soon this summer, and that's going to lead us to be able to offer open source training, which we hope to start doing early next year.
And who knows what else we're going to invent or what the board is going to come up with. We never know. The EuRA Foundation is the name for EuRA's activities towards charities. What we've done so far to date in the last 5-6 years or more, we raised altogether, this is TAD, €72,392.59, not 58.
It's not a round figure because we have to deal with exchange rates.
In Malta last year, we raised 20,000. The power of challenge. We will do better this year. We will, all together. I'm counting on you all. We are going to raise more than 20,000. It's a round figure. We'll keep you informed all the time at where we stand with selling the things on the charity market, the EuRA charity market. We all see Marie there showing the shirts, the baseball caps, the sunglasses, an umbrella. I think you're going to need it. And the prize draw entry. So please, please participate. You'll know in a minute. Because this year's charity, the charity we've chosen, is called Protecting Wings. As you can see in the left side up there, left slide, there is a Polish name, but please forgive me for not trying to pronounce it. So we call it Protecting Wings. It helps families with children to give them a home, away from home, where they can learn, where they can study, where they can play, have a homey feeling in an atmosphere that takes them a little bit away from their, I'd say, very difficult situations, what makes them so vulnerable.
They've recently been given a house by the local authority, and they're trying to raise money to renovate it. And as you can see in the picture, there's quite a lot of work needed to be done on the basement. And they'd like us to try and raise 12,380 euros. Now, just before we go any further, I'd like to welcome Anna and 2 of the residents of the home onto the stage. So these are the people we want to help, not the adults, the children. So thank you very much indeed for coming along and coming up onto the stage. Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you for being here.
And other ways in which we're going to raise money. First of all, Anna has a stall just next to where Danny is with the television, selling items like this coaster for a table. All the money they raise will also go to the charity. So please go and I think you have cushions and mugs and all sorts of things. So there's that you can do.
12,380 will do the basement.
Yeah.
But you will agree with me that we need more than just the basement to make them happy, right?
We want more.
Okay. So then there's the EuRA market. There's the silent auction. You can see all the items exhibited in the corridor just there.
I added up the value or estimated value of the silent auction items, and it came to something like 7,750 euros. Please, can we make it 10? Go and sign up, go and buy something, go and bid. We also have a live auction at the party on Friday night. We are auctioning 2 hoodies, a beautiful vase, a plate, another beautiful vase, a full conference package plus extras, there's a place in Croatia, I believe. Yes,
Most
Anita's
probably.
apartment in Croatia. And 1 or 2 other things. If you are not going to be here on Friday, we will accept telephone bids.
Okay.
So if you would like to bid on one of those items and you won't be here, please come and tell us what you consider to be your bid. Each item does, however, as in all auctions, have a reserve. But we feel that we can raise an enormous amount of money through that. We did very well last year and the year before with our live auctions.
Do we have our favorite auctioneer?
Yeah, Patrick arrived, didn't he? Oh, there he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you better come. It's really worth it.
Yeah, and his sidekick, Francis.
Perfect.
And again, please enter this competition. Guess where we're going. Everyone is always spending the entire conference wondering where we're going. Now put it down on paper.
Okay.
And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors. Our conference sponsor, Court Global Network. Our gold sponsors. Our gala dinner sponsor, Dwellworks, and party night sponsors, Nordic Relocation Group and Wycott Workforce Mobility. Our silver sponsors. Our bronze sponsors. Our event sponsors. Our gift sponsors. And finally, our exhibitors.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. I really do sound croaky. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. See you later.